apologise first of all that this video has taken me ages to record. I know I've not recorded one in absolutely ages. Sadly, just normal life getting in the way, and also the point that actually not much has really happened, to be honest. All there's been is Anderson, and we still don't have any progress on that. So to be honest, other than sitting here and recording a video repeating the name Anderson, I didn't think there was much point. But this week there's been some more interesting news. Obviously the Jack Wilshere signing looking like it's going to be announced on Monday. And I think everyone knows about this one. The possibility of Dimitri Payet coming back to West Ham. Wow. When X first mentioned that there was an ex-player that had been offered back, an exciting ex-player, although Dimitri Payet seemed like the only possibility, I couldn't actually believe that that would be a possibility. So when it was confirmed yesterday that that was the player that he was talking about, I was a bit shocked. I don't know what to think. I absolutely loved Payet when he was at West Ham. In the Euros, was cheering on France. I mean, never in my life have I done that, because I just loved him so much. He was one of the best players I've seen at West Ham ever. I'm not saying he is the best player ever to be at West Ham, and obviously I'm not fortunate enough to have seen the likes of Bobby Moore and Billy Bonds and Trevor Brooking. But certainly in my lifetime he was one of the best players I've ever seen. And I loved him, and I thought at the time he loved the club and the fans. But the way he left, for me, was just awful. I accepted that he wanted to go back to France for personal reasons, and I think we all know those personal reasons. At the time I wanted him just to try and see out the season. And then afterwards I thought, even if he hadn't done that, if he'd have come out and actually said, I'm sorry. But he didn't. He got on that plane to France, and that was his last tweet, and never ever had anything back. And I think that for me was the bit that I found really, really hard to forgive. Obviously he refused to train. The players weren't talking to him, and I mean, that season he wasn't the same Payet that we'd had in our final season at Upton Park. So, you know, are we crazy for even considering having him back at West Ham? Yeah, I think we are. He's 31. But there's this little bit of me that does want him to come back and to do well. And I mean, we desperately need some creativity. And he has been playing well at Marseille. Probably unlucky that he didn't get into the France squad. So do we want... I mean, do you know what? I'm so torn. I loved him, and then I hated him. And I don't know why I'm sitting here saying this, because I from my own morals, I should say, absolutely not. Never want him back at the club. He's 31. He left us in a bad way, and we don't need a player like that in our club. But I can't help it. There's this tiny bit of me that would love to see him back in a West Ham shirt. And you can call me what you want for that. Can't help it. I know I'm crazy. And I think it's not probably the best decision for the club, so it shouldn't happen. But there's, like I said, there's a tiny bit of me that would like to see it happen. As for Jack, I did an article 27th of July 2017 about the prospect of him I'm getting confused now with Payet, coming to West Ham on loan. At the time I looked into the injury record, and what was really worrying, that he was actually more injury prone than Andy Carroll and Diafra Sakho. And at the time that to me was a depressing stat, and didn't think that we could actually be wanting Jack at the club. Not because I don't rate him, and I said that in the article. I've always quietly liked him, and he's the sort of player that I love because he gives his absolute all on the pitch. He has passion, he's a fighter. Yeah, exactly the sort of player I love at West Ham. But the injury stats did concern me, and we've had so many injury prone players over the years that how could we take a gamble? But at the same time, I did say that it would depend on the financial deal that was being offered. And the rumour is that Wilshere has actually taken a pay cut to come and play for West Ham. We all know that he used to support West Ham when he was a child, and taking a pay cut for choosing West Ham, and just as I've said, because of the sort of player he is, and actually the fact that last season he played well, he was one of Arsenal's best players when I saw him play, and that he's actually had most of the season fit. For me, I go back on not buying injury-prone players. I am such a hypocrite, I really am. And I'm pleased to see him sign for West Ham. I just pray that he doesn't get injured, because that will just be typical West Ham. So let's not go down that road. Let's not go and sign Jack Wilshere and then keep getting injured, because there is a high chance of it. But I am pleased. I'm really excited to see Jack Wilshere in a West Ham shirt, playing hopefully with some decent players around him next season. Just finally thought I'd do a quick mention. England game. Again, hypocrite seems to be the word I'm using today, but before the World Cup started, I said that I wasn't as excited about it, that I didn't have the same passion that I had back in 96 and 98, and that I didn't feel the connection so much with the players. Just before the World Cup started, I'd watched a few videos with Jack Whitehall. They had these training day videos, and it was really bizarre because it made me warm to them a little bit more than I thought I would do. It's nice to see them outside of, you know, playing for Tottenham and disliking them purely for that fact. And the passion was definitely there last week. Oh my God, my heart rate. I mean, it's worth watching West Ham because I will always choose club over country. But those penalties, it was so stressful, but it was brilliant to win a penalty shootout. And I'll say it, Kane is outstanding. And yes, he plays for Tottenham, but for me, he is, I don't know, he's like a footballer of an older generation. You can't dislike him other than his choice of football club. And I'm praying today that he goes out there. I don't care how we win today. Sweden can score an own goal and we win 1-0 for all I care. As long as we get to that semi-final, I will be ecstatic and I cannot wait. Let's hope it's a brilliant day and let's hope it's a brilliant season next season for West Ham. So, in conclusion, I am pretty much a massive hypocrite. Hypocrite for wanting Jack Wilshere at West Ham, even though I said we shouldn't sign injury-prone players, and a hypocrite for even considering Payet joining West Ham again, only if he was to apologise, obviously. But still, just a hypocrite, and I apologise, but I don't care. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, and follow me on Twitter @Flump9. Come on, you Irons.